U.S. News reported on a poll about the recent teacher strikes, and the results are absolutely incredible. So they say the AP-NORC poll found that parents and those without children are about equally likely to think teachers are paid too little. It's a sentiment that crosses party lines, too. Nearly 9 in 10 Democrats, 78% of independents, and 66% of Republicans think teacher salaries are too low. Slightly more than half of Americans, 52%, also approve of teachers leaving the classroom to strike in their search for higher pay, while only 25% disapprove. Among those who say they've heard about the recent teacher protests, 80% say they approve of such tactics. So, there's a lesson here. The lesson is something we've been saying all along, which is that when you go issue for issue, the American people are solidly on the left. So, my advice, if I was a Democratic strategist, is I would tell them, listen, don't mention labels, okay? They're not necessary, and they just further divide people. I mean, it is true that having these beliefs puts people in a category, and there is a label that exists that can describe where they fall on the political spectrum. That's all true. But you might as well not bring it up, because oftentimes what happens is people might describe themselves as, hey, I think I'm moderately conservative, but then you go to their actual beliefs issue by issue, and it turns out they're left-wing. But if you say, hey, you're left-wing up front, then that sometimes people, they shut down, and they're like, no, I disagree with that. So you can build bridges if you focus on the issues. And again, you don't need to, I wouldn't totally advise against it, but I think you should focus more time on just the issues and less time on, oh my God, aren't the other guys so bad? Isn't Trump so bad? Aren't the Republicans so bad? Because what this shows is everybody kind of agrees on the most important shit. So when you have teachers striking because their pay is shitty and they're using old-ass textbooks, and you got, needed updates to happen in the classrooms, like, people go, yeah, I get it. I'm fine with my tax money going towards that. I'm fine with these people getting better pay. But if you were to run campaigns, pro-worker campaigns, the Democrats would start obliterating the Republicans in elections because, again, this shows you even Republicans are like, okay, I agree with the union stuff. I agree with workers' wages getting better. I agree with taking our tax money and putting it towards schools and education and investing in the future. And by the way, this goes across a plethora of issues. Infrastructure. That's another one where a lot of Republicans are in favor of it. Ending war. That's another one where a lot of Republicans are in favor of it. Even Medicare for All, there are more Republicans that support Medicare for All than oppose Medicare for All. It's not a majority yet. It's a plurality, but it's still more that support it than oppose it. So if you run issues-driven campaigns, you win. And you don't need to shy away from these ideas. But the problem is the Democratic Party, have to believe in these ideas in order to fight for these ideas, and many of them just don't. There are some that do, obviously, but many of them don't. So, overwhelming, man, and this is what we learn. You name the issue, I'll tell you the poll number. Gun reform, 97% of Americans want a universal background check, 60% want a ban on high-capacity magazines. It's even 60% in some polls that say ban assault weapons. So that's overwhelmingly popular. Raising taxes on the rich, about 60% want it. Medicare for All, about 60% want it. Legalizing marijuana, 64% of people want it. So on the issues, the left wins. So you should focus on the issues and drive that home. Because people are hurting out there, and really at their core what they want, it's anti-establishment, pro-worker politicians. And this is yet another poll that paints that picture for us.